It's February 18th. Welcome to yes2hellwith.com. I mentioned last week that I would be sending reports to the Inner Circle and Patriot members. I've decided I'm going to send one report to everyone, which I will do this week. So it will be sent by email. You can expect it, and I hope you read it and benefit. I also want to mention that if you're going to be on the SOU for You call on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I want you to please send me an email indicating that you wish to participate. Indicate that you have the SOU for You package so that I can confirm it with the publisher. This is for those who have the SOU for You package. Now, for today's topic. Freedom is not comfort. Freedom is not convenience. Freedom is not entertainment. Freedom is the boundary between the individual and power. It is the line that says, quote, "this far and no further," end quote. A free people are not those who have no laws. They are those whose leaders are limited. Limited by enumerated authority. Limited by jurisdiction. Limited by proof. Limited by restraint. When law exceeds its limits, freedom shrinks. Not overnight, not with tanks, not with sirens. It erodes while the stadium is full. It erodes while the beer is cold. It erodes while the television glows. Here is the hard truth. Americans negate their own freedom, not because soldiers force them, not because chains bind them, but because distraction sedates them. We pour billions of hours into football seasons. We organize our Sundays around kickoff times. We memorize statistics, contracts, playoff scenarios. We gather around the coolers full of beer. We argue about referees. We scream at the screens. We binge entertainment. We scroll endlessly. We consume, and consume still. And while we are entertained, while we are comfortable, while we are mildly intoxicated and emotionally invested in games that change nothing, administrative power expands, regulations thicken, surveillance normalizes, presumption hardens, jurisdiction stretches. No tyrant is required, just comfort. Just distraction, just enough prosperity to keep the mind and heart from structural questions. Freedom requires vigilance, but vigilance is boring compared to football. Civic structure is less thrilling than a playoff run. Jurisdictional limits are less exciting than fantasy leagues. So we choose the spectacle, and slowly we vest ourselves in comfort over responsibility. We call ourselves free while our attention is owned. We say we value freedom while we ignore encroachment. Freedom does not disappear because people are violently oppressed. It disappears because people are pleasantly distracted, because beer is easier than study, because entertainment is easier than engagement, because comfort is easier than vigilance. A people who will not guard limits will live inside expanding ones, and they will not notice the difference until it is far too late. Freedom is not loud, it is disciplined, it is aware, and it requires citizens who care more about structure than spectacle. If we covet comfort more than limits, we will keep our games, we will keep our beer, we will keep our shows, and we will slowly lose the very freedom that allowed them. And as always, may truth reign supreme.